When you download the Baker's app, you have easy access to savings every day. Get the most out of weekly sales and receive personalized coupons to save on your favorite items, all while earning 1 fuel point for every $1 spent. Baker's makes it easy to save while you shop, whether it's in-store or online, so you get the most value out of every trip, every time. Download the Baker's app now to save big on your next purchase. Baker's, fresh for everyone. Must have a digital account to redeem offers. Restrictions may apply. See site for details.
It's Kate
and Oliver
Hudson,
host of the new podcast, Sibling Revelry. That's right.
We started this show because, you know what? No one talks about siblings and that dynamic.
The siblings, they know each other better than anybody.
Yes.
You know.
Listen to Sibling Revelry on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Episode 294, Frugal Living Tips for Spring.
Welcome to the Frugal Friends Podcast, where you'll learn to save money, embrace simplicity, and live a richer life. Here are your hosts, Jen and Jill.
Welcome to the Frugal Friends Podcast. My name is Jen.
My name is Jill.
And by the time you listen to this, I will for sure have given birth. For sure.
Yay.
Yeah.
Like they won't let you go this long.
They will not. No.
Yeah.
So A, something to celebrate.
Yes.
But B, let's also celebrate spring.
Spring is in the air.
Spring.
Everywhere, look around.
Yes.
That's all I can sing.
So we are going to talk about a few frugal living tips that are unique to spring, but also a few tips for spring cleaning your finances.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, I did know this.
Yeah,
Just
you already
hearing it. Hearing it back again sounds really exciting. I'm reinvigorated for it. But first, just around the river bend, Pocahontas herself wanted to throw a little sponsorship our way in the form of encouragement. Spring is just around the river bend, as we've been saying. And so is hope, flowers, butterflies, sunshine, and good feelings, all the things that come with spring. But for whatever might be around your river bend, it's always a good idea to be storing up some cash in a high yield savings account like the one at CIT currently offering 4.05% APY. Do it for yourself. Do it to yourself. frugalfriendspodcast.com/CIT. Store up some money, earn some of that interest back on it, and be ready for whatever's just around the river bend.
Because April showers do bring May flowers. So you'll want a rainy day fund.
Yeah, for the days that it's raining and the days that it's flowering.
Amen.
You can use the money for whatever you want. Look at us.
Look at you.
And that's all, folks. Thanks for listening.
No. We are in the we're trying to do a frugal living tips for every season because every season does have its own unique ways that you can save money.
Ooh.
And its own unique ways that it costs you more. So we want you to embrace the season you're in by taking advantage of the savings, but also not guilting yourself when you're spending more in a place where last season you were maybe spending less. So this is our one for spring, and we don't have any other spring episodes, but we do have some other tip episodes, like 210 is tips to live zero waste frugally, or episode 178, simple living, but make it frugal. We just did another simple living episode. So yeah, these are things that are great to embrace in the springtime, but we are going to get into some articles specifically for springin'.
So this first one comes from The House and Homestead, and it gives 12 frugal living tips for spring. They're all great. They're worth visiting. This article, find it in our show notes, but we're just going to pick 3 each. I'm going to kick it off like almost halfway through the article with number 5, which is find free plants and garden materials.
You would.
Wherever you live, spring is the time when we're thinking about what to do with our yards, how to make them look nice. I mean, even in Florida, there's a resurgence of more abundance of foliage and flowers and pollen everywhere. Keep that in mind, folks. That's coming for us too. But I think a lot of times this is when we want to plant our gardens, especially those who live in the north. You're in full swing right now, thinking about what you want to plant and cultivate. And a lot of times that newness can bring a desire to purchase. If you're anything like me, especially when it comes to the garden, it's, oh, yay, flowers. And you didn't even intend to, but the flowers look so nice outside of Lowe's and Home Depot or Walmart or the grocery store or wherever the heck you are. And I want my place to look pretty. But there is so many opportunities to get free plants and garden materials, not just your flowers and your veggie starters or seeds, but also your trimmers and your gloves and your shovels and your rakes and everything that you need for the garden. You can often find free, if not used. So this is your alert and reminder and encouragement to be checking out your local Buy Nothing group, searching Facebook Marketplace, talking with your friends in the area, and look for the things you want and need for free first. And also consider contentment too, because it's also possible that you have on your property like everything that you need. You don't have to buy all of those flowers.
Consider contentment. That's the best tip, especially for those of us that have a black thumb and are not getting flowers. Because if we did in 3 months, they would just be the weeds that we're pulling up to plant the flowers in the spring.
Yeah.
Contentment.
It's okay if you do want them. Just know that there's plenty of people. This is also a great time. I know this article is saying free stuff, so check that first. But this is also a time where your local nurseries or universities that have like an agricultural department or like plant clubs are doing plant swaps.
Yes.
Or like low entry fees for like very inexpensive plants. So there are a lot of opportunities to find what you want far less expensive than like if you just were to impulse purchase at the grocery store.
Definitely look on Facebook for plant swaps because they will always have some free things. You may not have enough of a green thumb to provide anything to swap for free, but they usually will just have like a stuff they're getting rid of pile as well.
And just my additional tip on here too, consider propagating your own stuff. When you've got that urge to go buy new, look around your property and see what could be clipped and propagated. So much of what we have already at our disposal, we can create more from just by clipping what's already there and letting it grow some roots.
But don't consider what your neighbors have available to propagate unless you ask them.
Ask them. Hey, ask them though. There's been so many times when I've just been walking the neighborhood and happened to meet a neighbor outside and comment on some, like a plant of theirs that I think is beautiful. And they're like, take a cutting. Like it happens, especially people who are really proud of their gardens or are gardeners themselves. I'm not saying necessarily the people who are like paying for every aspect of their landscaping. They're a little bit more like territorial. But those who are gardeners love to share. There is an abundance mentality amongst gardeners. Love you all. I see you. Shout out to you.
Yes. Shout out to you. So I'm going to go back to the first one. And it's spring clean with DIY cleaners. So one of the ways that we can save money in spring is by making sure all of our appliances, the things in our home, doing the annual checks to make sure they are clean and running properly, because there are so many times where things will break down that is due to maintenance. And so if we take the time in spring to make sure we're doing annual maintenance, annual cleaning of appliances, of different places in our homes, so that we don't have to pay to repair, replace, whatever, then this can save us a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be like a frantic cleaner of, you don't even have to do it yourself if you don't want to. If you pay for like one deep cleaning a year, that is going to save you more money than having to replace all your appliances more frequently.
It's amazing how far a couple of different types of rags and sponges, vinegar, baking soda, and lemon can go. Like you mostly do not need much more than that to be able to clean your house very well. I've got to say, I was tempted in our renovation process to get a whole new glass cooktop. The one that came with the house is good. It's a glass cooktop. It actually matches the other appliances that we have, but it was so dirty from the previous tenants. But I just Googled, how can you clean this without purchasing additional products? I was open to that, right? Because that's going to be far less expensive than purchasing a whole new glass cooktop. And you're like, I'm already getting new, so you might as well just throw in the new appliance. But I was amazed. Vinegar, baking soda, let it soak, and a razor that was safe for the cooktop. And it is brand new, Jen.
I watched you.
And
I watched you.
Oh, yeah, you were there for it. I saved myself $600 by not needing to buy a brand new glass cooktop. Maybe more. I mean, who knows? Maybe they're like $800. But yes, and spring cleaning is a lot of times when we are deep cleaning. So keep that in mind. It can also help us be really pleased with the things that we own when we give it a facelift. When we really do a deep clean on it, we can be reminded of how great our stuff is. And it can remove that desire to purchase.
Yeah. So you can Google like a spring cleaning, deep cleaning checklist and just go down the list over the 3 months of spring. This isn't a day, one day thing, but just make it your goal over 3 months to get all these taken care of and then not worry about it the other 9.
Number 6 on here is to review your goals. And I love this tip just as part of I think this is a really good quarterly practice to be reviewing whatever goals it is that you've set for yourself. And this doesn't necessarily mean you have to be the traditional New Year's resolution person, but chances are you've got something you have your sights set on, whether it's debt freedom or a specific savings goal, or you want to take a really memorable vacation this year, whatever it is, taking the time to look at, how am I doing towards this goal? What has it looked like so far? Are there any course adjustments that need to happen? Is there, here we go, Jen, one thing that I can be doing that would help me further towards this goal? Or is this no longer a realistic goal? Many of us, we don't want to find ourselves at the end of the year having never re-looked at this, but it's often not that we have to be looking at our goals on a daily basis, but at least quarterly, revisiting, reassessing, course adjusting. I think this is a great time to do that.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, it's always everybody makes goals they don't mean in January. Everyone says things they don't mean.
Well, it's winter and everything's kind of weird. You just spend a ton of money. You spend way more time with some of the people you would not spend time with throughout the rest of the year. And it's cold and you don't know what's happening next.
Right. So
revisit your goals.
This is your permission to revisit. You're a different person now. Different person.
Life is back to hopefully more typical routines.
Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna head back again to number 2.
Okay.
Which is purge. So I love a good purge, not like bodily, but environmentally. So I love having just a home that's decluttered, feels fresh. Don't have as much stuff to clean.
You do practice this pretty regularly.
Oh, yeah.
I can always tell when I've come over to your house, I'm like, Jen just had a spurt of energy.
Which have been few and far between the last 6 months. But yes, I'm always moving things to the purge pile. So this is just a really great season to go do a deep dive. Again, not a one day, but like over 3 months, just looking at, okay, today I'm going to do this drawer. And then in a few days, I'm going to do this drawer or this shelf on the bookshelf, and just kind of slowly make your way through the house in the season of spring.
I love that too, for the purpose of habit building and creating new patterns and ways of living. It can become much more established in our regular routines and rituals if we take our time throughout spring to be doing this, versus we feel like we need to get it all done in one day or one weekend and then nothing really sticks, versus this is kind of my focus and I'm going to work on this slowly. It can meet multiple purposes. All right. I am still pulling us ahead in this article. I'm now jumping back. Whiplash, number 9. Get outside. We all don't need too much of a reminder on this one. We all know it's a great time to be enjoying the great outdoors pretty much wherever you live. This is just, the weather's great. And you can see and find so much beauty. But one of the reasons I wanted to highlight this is I think you can find even new places within your area, or at least new to you, like exploring your own neighborhood and community can also serve that dual purpose of free activities, things that you can do that are new and exciting right in your backyard. I've been learning a whole lot more about our area just on social media. I know there's like that back and forth, like purging social media is great, but also utilizing social media as a tool and resource at times can be really wonderful too. So whether that's looking for the free events and activities in your area on Facebook, but I've also been finding that there's a lot of people posting about parks and recreational activities, things to explore that are free within social media as well. So that could even be like an Instagram search of your area, and people are posting about the unique places that they're finding, the different parks and lakes and, depending on where you're living, like trails and mountain ranges. Like, I'm discovering more about this area just from other people posting where they're going. So there can be a more active search that happens there. Even almost being like a tourist in your own area and Googling like best walking trails, best parks, best playgrounds, chances are you might find something or a place that you've never been just because it's out of your typical routine or where your friends meet up. But give another place a try and it will feel like a new experience that you don't have to spend any money on.
Absolutely. This is one that I am making a goal for this spring, to get outside before the baby comes and then after he comes, to spend more time with Kai, to still like be somewhat active.
Get some of that sunshine.
Yeah. It's so beneficial because after you have a baby, your hormones are just insane. And so to get a little get some endorphins going, get some vitamin D, I really want to make it a priority. And you can hold me accountable.
I'm here for that. Okay. I'll meet you outside.
Perfect.
Meet me outside.
Meet me outside. How about that? Okay. So my last one for this is number 8. Use less electricity. And I feel like every season has its own electricity problems and benefits, or high benefits and drawbacks. So I think winter for sure for most places is the time we're using the most electricity. So you just got to give yourself grace. Here in Florida, it's summer. But in spring and fall, we really have the opportunity to really lower our electricity bills. So make it a priority to go days without using your heating or cooling, to turn the lights off, use a candle, or especially after daylight savings time.
Air dry your clothes.
Yeah, air dry the clothes when we're not in a rainy season. So be intentional. You don't have to do everything. You shouldn't do everything. Be intentional in doing a few things that are going to really lower your electric bill.
Yes, I love that one.
AI might be the most important new computer technology ever. It's storming every industry, and literally billions of dollars are being invested. So, buckle up. The problem is that AI needs a lot of speed and processing power. So, how do you compete without costs spiraling out of control? It's time to upgrade to the next generation of the cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI. OCI is a single platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, and AI needs. OCI has 4 to 8 times the bandwidth of other clouds, offers one consistent price instead of variable regional pricing. And of course, nobody does data better than Oracle. So now you can train your AI models at twice the speed and less than half the cost of other clouds. If you want to do more and spend less, like Uber, 8x8, and Databricks Mosaic, take a free test drive of OCI at oracle.com/strategic. That's oracle.com/strategic. oracle.com/strategic.
Sonic, 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 Sonic. It's peanut butter bacon time. Peanut butter bacon time.
That's right. Now you can get a deliciously sweet and savory peanut butter bacon cheeseburger, shake, or double cheeseburger at Sonic. So you know what time it is.
Peanut butter bacon. Peanut butter bacon. Now bacon got the crisp. Peanut butter smooth like Swiss. Is it salty? Is it sweet? At your friends in the backseat. Peanut butter burger. Peanut butter shake. Peanut butter bacon in the burger and the shake. It's peanut butter bacon time at Sonic.
Limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
Now we're going to switch gears to spring cleaning our finances. Woot! This article comes from Morgan Stanley and gives 5 ways to spring clean our finances. We're just going to go through 1 through 3 on this one. But I love this concept of cleaning up every aspect. I know we've talked about digital decluttering and space and schedule. And of course, we're a personal finance podcast. So, but the concept of decluttering finances and cleaning them up and making them fresh and new and approachable and not scary is helpful for all of us. And regardless of where we're at, even if we're not ones who, or if we are people who budget regularly, there's still something to clean up. I would consider myself very organized, but still some things can get a little bit tangled and I need a little detangling.
Always. Nobody is perfect. So this is a really good time to be intentional with spring cleaning. And I love that they used the spring cleaning like verbs.
Yes.
So number 1 is to clean up your accounts. So if you have a lot of different accounts, then it could be time to consolidate some of them. And I'm not talking about like debt consolidation. I'm just talking about like if you have a bunch of different bank accounts or a bunch of different cards, that we are closing some accounts, that we are making sure everything we have is manageable and doesn't feel overwhelming. That if you're able to get a small debt paid off and just get that out of your life, then we're making that a priority. So just cleaning up your accounts. So, if you have any 401ks that need to be rolled over, any of that stuff, getting access to any HSAs, stuff like that we're just making sure we have a handle and a grasp on all of our financial accounts. So that way you're not going through the year like, oh God, I want to do this. There's so many of them. I don't even know where to find them. I need to do this. I need to roll this over. I need to get this password or something. Just take care of all of it in spring so you don't have to stress the rest of the year.
It still could be something to look at quarterly. I think similar with goals, this is a great practice to just look. Even, it's a great time to consider negotiating bills, taking a look at what can be minimized. But yeah, especially right now in the spring. I love this idea. Number 2 is to declutter your debt. So if you are not yet debt-free, taking a look at your various debts and putting them, we recommend in order of interest rates. And that can be a really great way of decluttering debt. It will not happen all at once, but step by step, focusing on each of the smaller steps that will help get you to the bigger goals. But this will really help in simplifying our lives, taking away some of that stress and anxiety about money, feeling like we have a handle on things. I know this article talks about debt consolidation. We talked about that in a previous episode. I don't know if you want to mention what you said there again, Jen, but that it could be a worthwhile thing to consider if the weight of seeing various debts in a lot of different places and you're having a hard time keeping track of all of them, it can be a helpful simplification tool, not necessarily something to be approached as far as saving money. It most likely won't, but we would more so recommend the snowball method when it comes to debt payoff. But either way, there is a simplification, a decluttering, a spring cleaning aspect. If we can look at our debts, identify where they are, and have a plan for how they're going to get paid off, will make us feel so much better just having that plan in place.
Yeah. We love Debt Snowball, but we also love Debt Avalanche. It's really up to you, whichever one you decide. But those are really two good methods for paying off debt instead of just trying to do it willy-nilly. My debt consolidation picture this in your mind, is that you have 2 packet drawers. And you dump one packet drawer into the other packet drawer.
Like packets of condiments?
Packets of hot sauce from Taco Bell, Jill.
Oh, right. Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, duh. And then you pour one packet drawer into the other and you throw one mild sauce away. That is debt consolidation. It looks like you've cleaned up, but you've really just moved debt around.
Sure.
And you've maybe saved a little bit of one mild sauce packet of money. But really, you've just made more work for yourself because you had to take the drawer out of its hinge or just scoop the packets out. You just really made just equal work for yourself instead of if you'd just gone through the packets and thrown away all the mild sauces.
I like the mild sauce.
I like the hot.
Well, so then you could give me the mild sauce, eat your way through the hot, and let someone else have the medium.
Yeah.
I think we're losing
There's no
sight
medium.
of
It's fire.
The debt.
Well, but that is really the picture of debt consolidation, is just go through and use a debt snowball or a debt avalanche. Focus on the habits to reduce your expenses and increase your income versus pretending you did something by consolidating it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there could be an emotional toll and mental toll at play there that it could be worth considering. But the reality is, I think consolidating is going to take way longer than it does to like dump one drawer into another drawer. Cause that sounds kind of nice to me.
Yeah.
Not if it's going to take up a ton of energy. I might as well put that energy towards paying
If
down
you have
debt.
something neurologically where seeing all your debts very much has an effect on how you are functioning, then sure, use a nonprofit credit counselor to consolidate. But most people should just put in the work. So that leads us to the next 2 are really putting in the work. Number 3 is toss out some paper. I like how it says some in parentheses, like it knows. I just want to throw out all the paper.
Don't throw away your marriage license or your birth certificate or social security card.
I have thrown away important things. I have not yet thrown away my marriage license, but I have thrown away some very important things. So do the hard work of going through the papers, not just dumping them all in the trash, so that you can have access to important documents when you need them and not like put off registering your child for school till the last minute because you don't know where your papers are for him.
Yes. Yes. Oh, similar to how I've got a rule for myself that all my Christmas things need to fit into one plastic bin. All of the papers I keep need to fit into one filing cabinet drawer. So if that drawer is getting full, then that's just a time to go through it and declutter. And I gotta say, it really helps me. Granted, I don't have children. So like hats off to all of you guys who've got multiple plates spinning at one time. But the less paper I keep on hand, the more likely I am to address the important paperwork as it comes through, because it's not just like, oh, I've already got a pile, so just throw it on the pile. Now that I have decluttered, we're in maintenance mode. So something comes through the door, then 2 to 3 days, and we deal with it and we throw it out. And we can take pictures of the things that we think we might need someday, but we don't think it's worth keeping the paper.
Absolutely.
All right. Number 4, Organize your income and expenses. This is just kind of a fancy way of saying budget, but we love it when we can like ninja our way around the B word. And this is just taking a look at what's incoming, what's outgoing, taking inventory of our income and expenses, considering if there's any wasteful spending that's happening. Is there course correction to making smarter financial decisions that we can be implementing? Just getting a clear picture, organizing, right? Like we love organizing. Most of us love seeing organized stuff, whether it's on social media or we're watching Tidying Up or the Organization Women friendship duo on Netflix. Organize. I mean,
hot take. I do not like the home edit.
I know.
I think I've said that before. I hate that show.
Well, there's something that it does for me for sure. But I think at the same time, it's also just like a way to keep all of your junk.
It's
and
moving
I'm
the
not there
packet
for
drawer.
That. Yeah.
It's just getting a fancier drawer.
Sure.
For the packets.
Sure. But either way, seeing what you do think is valuable and is worth keeping around organized and just like looking nice and neat, it can help us feel more confident, at ease, exhale, know what we're going to do next, not feel super overwhelmed or chaotic or uncertain, which when we feel that way, we're definitely not making our best financial decisions.
Absolutely.
So if we can make it feel less chaotic, more organized, we feel like we've got a good handle on it, a very clear picture, the better off we're going to be, the wiser, more intentional decisions we are going to make. So organize. And that's it. That's number 4.
Yeah. I mean, so that's really, they do, it's Morgan Stanley. So they're like, plan for taxes, so your tax loss harvesting and your tax favorable investments. And if you do that, cool. But most people don't need to do that. But most people do need to save their tax returns. So do that.
Yes, definitely do that. Yeah. Keep all your tax documents for 7 years. Yes. And that's paperwork to keep.
Yeah. But you know what else you'll want to keep? You won't want to throw it away. And you really shouldn't.
It's paperless.
It's paperless and you don't have to throw it away. You can hoard these.
Ooh, collect them all. Yeah. The bill of the week.
That's right. It's time for the best minute of your entire week. Maybe a baby was born and his name is William. Maybe you paid off your mortgage. Maybe your car died and you're happy to not have to pay that bill anymore. Duck bills, Buffalo Bills, Bill Clinton. This is the bill of the week.
Hey, Frugal friends, this is Blanca in Seattle, and I'm calling with my bill of the week, which is my internet bill. We had been paying around $100 a month for 1 gig of broadband with a local company. They threatened to increase our rate, and I called and negotiated with them a few months ago, and they gave us a promotional offer. Then that promotional offer expired, and I had been receiving a flyer in the mail from Google Fiber. Google Fiber is offering the same amount of gigs, and they don't even charge for the equipment rental, unlike my local provider. The only catch is that it costs $750 up front, which comes out to about $63 a month, which is a huge savings for us. And fortunately, spending $750 in one go is not a problem because my husband and I have a fully funded emergency fund. So we have a technician coming today to switch our cable and, our internet. And yeah, we're super excited. So thanks so much. Bye.
Blanca, yes, girl, throw it in their faces. Just let that money fly in their faces and be like, I don't have to pay your monthly bill because I got the money to pay up front and save.
Jen's feeling salty right now, folks. She's about to give birth soon, and it's just all over the place.
Yes.
But yes, also Blanca, I am here for you, here for this bill. There's stacks on stacks of bills right here about negotiating your bills and receiving that promotional or like that promotion. Then when it expired, paying attention to what comes through the mailbox. Sometimes there are some really great promotions that you can be taking advantage of, then being able to pay all up front because of your fully funded emergency fund. Like there's just so much in here that you're doing fantastically, that also so much of this is autopilot. Once you make that one phone call, that one email, and then you've set that one bill, that now you're set up for a good long while of having less expensive internet. This is just so exciting. And I am celebrating with you.
Yes, virtually on internet.
Yes. If you are listening and you have something to celebrate with us, and it is even remotely related to some version of a bill, you know the drill. frugalfriendspodcast.com/bill. Leave us your bill, or just be Bill and talk about anything you want.
Literally, be you.
Baker's always gives you savings and rewards on top of our lower than low prices. And when you download the Baker's app, you can enjoy over $500 in savings every week with digital coupons. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's easy to save big. Baker's, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply.
We've locked in low prices to help you save big store-wide. Look for the locked in low prices tags and enjoy extra savings throughout the store. Baker's, fresh for everyone.
Discover the heartwarming and hilarious world of sibling connections on Sibling Revelry with Kate Hudson and Oliver Hudson.
You might be asking yourself, what is sibling revelry?
Yeah, well, we just made it up.
They'll have some laughs and maybe inspire some people along the way with universal tales of what it's like to grow up with brothers and sisters.
We're full-blood siblings, the only full-blood sibling.
In our family. Well, not in the world. I mean,
no, in the whole world. That's just it. Like no one.
Dive into family tales and explore the human mind with guests like Joel and Benji Madden.
And it's fun because we've decided to open it up, to really like all kinds of different siblings. And it's going to be an awesome season.
It's more than a podcast. It's a celebration of the ties that bind us. Listen to Sibling Revelry with Kate Hudson and Oliver Hudson on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
And now it's time for the lightning round.
Cool. All right. So today's lightning round. How are you going to spring clean your finances this season?
You go first this time, Jen.
Okay. So I have to go through my papers. They are turning into that pile on top of the file cabinet.
Yeah.
And so that is first on my list. When I stop working, I am going to get to those papers. When I go on maternity leave.
Yeah, right.
That is
while breastfeeding.
Jill, there's not much you can do with a newborn.
I know. That's like the mental capacity though. Like I feel as though you don't have to put the pressure on yourself.
I don't think it's a lot of mental capacity to say like, keep, throw.
All right, give it a try.
I kind of already know
Yeah.
what needs to stay and what needs to go. I just need to do
Put it away,
I just need
yeah.
the time to do it. And right now, trying to get all these episodes recorded, that I cannot record an episode with a newborn. I can throw stuff away with one.
Okay.
That is my goal. How about you?
I really like the quarterly reviewing of goals. So this is something, I mean, granted, I'm in my finances bi-weekly, but I am looking at my financial picture from a broader perspective than just my bi-weekly budget this spring, looking at what bills I can negotiate. So it's on my radar to shop around specifically for car insurance. I think I'm paying way too much for car insurance. I know it is more expensive here in Florida than what we were used to from where we moved from, but I still we pay every 6 months, but this newest 6-month quote is $100 more than the previous 6 months that we had paid for. So every 6 months, they're just astronomically increasing the amount.
Pay attention.
And I'm just not here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to happen. And really just looking at if there's any other bills that I can negotiate is a part of that kind of quarterly overview of my finances.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be great.
That'll be great. It'll be
Yes.
so great. I hope this has inspired you all to spring clean.
Yeah.
An aspect of your finances. Again, not all at once, not all in one day. Just figure out what your biggest priority is and make that a goal for the next 3 months.
And do something that will save you money that is unique to spring. I like maintaining appliances, getting that all out of the way, and then not having to worry about it the rest of the year. So whatever you choose, thank you for listening. And if you want more helps in support in slaying your expenses and growing your income, paying off debt, then we do have a membership where we do monthly money challenges. We offer accountability groups. We got monthly meal plans. And we want to congratulate one of our members for a big win. This is from Corey. She says, I am feeling great about my progress. I'm continuing to track my purchases, which has made me think twice about any impulse purchases because I don't want to track it so it's not made. One of my other goals was not going out to eat without someone else. Community value. I asked a friend last minute to go out to eat with me and they were not able to go, and poor planning led to me eating alone and spending money. But I'm no longer beating myself up about it because I know what caused it and I can work on it in the future. Importance of planning ahead. I'm very happy with my results and continued learning experiences.
Oh, Corey, I love the implementation here of aligning values with spending, being able to name it.
Yep.
I think that identification and putting words to it and then putting it into practice is so, so valuable that I love what you've shared here because I think it provides a great learning opportunity for the rest of us listening in, watching in, reading in, whatever it is that we're doing. So congrats, Corey.
Yeah. So thank you for listening. If you want to check out our membership where we have all kinds of courses, ad-free interviews, challenges, and more, head to frugalfriendspodcast.com/club to check it out.
See you next time.
Frugal Friends is produced by Eric Siriani.
Oh, Jen, I bet you'll be glad to kind of like spring clean your own womb, like your physical space.
Your womb.
Giving birth in the spring.
I am so excited to declutter my womb. You have no idea. It is so cluttered in here.
I am seeing you, friends who are listening. We are in person. And Jen, like anytime I'm talking, just like leans back from the microphone and is like pushing the baby around and probably pushing back. Like there's a full on fight happening with like the newborn in her belly or the infant, the baby, the child in her belly, not newborn yet. I'm just like, it was quite distracting to like stay on topic. No, I loved it at the same time. I'm like, what is happening? So much movement and motion, pushing on the stomach. But then she'd get back on the mic as if nothing is happening over in her chair. Like you'd have no idea. Who knows, though? The microphones may be really good. And if you hear like a lot of activity, that's what's happening. There's just like some negotiation of space happening with her child.
Oh, wow. Yeah. There's a lot of movement happening, which, I'll take the movement over no movement, but it's a lot. And yeah, we are kind of fighting against each other.
Yeah.
For space in my body.
Mm-hmm. And so begins the mother-son relationship. No, you won't. Yes, I will. No, you better not. No.
Okay.
Stop.
I give up. And that's parenting.
That's it.
Okay, so we are contractually obligated to keep this thing going till 45 minutes. So we have 5 minutes to talk about this really important topic.
This is actually really salacious and on point.
That Marie Kondo has, quote unquote, kind of given up on tidying after having 3 kids. And I think this is the perfect time to talk about this. Being spring, talking about decluttering, and really should have been part of the main episode.
I do love this. What a great find, Jen. The Washington Post did an article on how Marie Kondo's life is messier now and she's fine with it. And yes, it's a little bit salacious and clickbaity, although it sounds like Marie Kondo herself did give quotes for this article. And I think it just is so on point with anytime we make something the end all be all, like this will be the one key secret to everything. And we see this happen so many times for these thought leaders, these authors, these people who have really poured a lot into a concept that is helpful, but also then the recognition and growth and space for new experiences to say, yeah, it's not entirely false. Like, we're not saying throw the whole thing out, but it's not the only thing, which I think even us, we've made a pivot to, like, I mean, not even a strong pivot, but recognizing we need space to grow and morph. That, like, you and I were focused on debt freedom for so long, but then once that happens, there's more to life and new experiences to life, which is why you hear us so much more in the past few years talking about freedom, flexibility, creating what's going to work for you. And we're hearing a lot of this in this article from Marie Kondo, recognizing that, like, just tidying, just having an Instagram worthy tidy space is not the only thing that's going to lead to joy. Like, yes, there's going to be certain practices and rituals and routines that are helpful for her, but she's more interested in how she's spending her time and less focused on everything being in its exact right place. It's not the only thing that's going to lead to joy, which I think is a really helpful thing to keep in mind when we talk about spring cleaning, when we talk about tidying.
Yeah, when we try to focus on the rigid rules more than the act of why we're doing it, I think is when we can fall off. And I love Marie Kondo's books. I love her philosophy of sparking joy. Did I look at all of my things and ask if they spark joy before I kept or got rid of them? Absolutely not. No. But I do love, like, her philosophy is based partly on the Japanese belief of Shintoism, which tidying is only part of the practice. She says the ultimate goal is to spark joy every day and lead a joyful life. And that's what she says she's focusing on more now, is the joy in life, not the joy of things, which I think should have been the priority number one the whole time. But I'm glad Marie's gotten there.
Yeah.
I'm really glad.
We all morph and shift. And I think that there needs to be space for people like Marie Kondo, again, these thought leaders who have given us a really incredible gift and a platform and a foundation of which to launch from and find our own freedoms. And she's no different. She's also human who's finding her own freedoms and space to recognize what's going to make sense for her right now in this season. And she's now on this path of encouraging others to create their own rhythm, their own routines based on what brings them joy, and even giving, like, templates for how to do that, like coming up with a joy routine, she calls it, sticking with it for 10 days, seeing whether daily habit changes are increasing your well-being or are helpful. So ultimately, I think what I'm loving in this is it's not a complete departure. Like, at first when you talked about this article, Jen, I was like, oh no, is she saying throw out her whole book? Like, that would be devastating. No. But to just give more space for, it might not look this way for every single person and in every season, and that's okay. I'm on my own journey in that. Like, I'm very, like, I'm very type A in certain ways. Certain ways I'm not. Sometimes I confuse myself, but I really like to have a clean space. So, like, the spring cleaning episode is, like, I love it, but at the same time, it only lasts for so long. I was just having this conversation with a couple of friends, recognizing that even if the ceiling blades are clean and the baseboards clean and the air ducts are clean and the filters are changed and, like, every single thing is exactly how you want it to be, that will last for 24 hours. if not less than that. Like none of it's going to stay that way. So if we are working at this harried pace to like keep it into perfection, like as if no one lives there, like we'll never be happy. Like that will never lead to contentment because it will never be how we want it. So then what needs to adjust is ourselves, like our own expectations and rhythms, and just finding what can we peaceably live with and where do we need to give lenience and flexibility to ourselves.
Yes. We will leave you with this quote from the article that is Marie Kondo's encouragement to everyone reading her latest book that comes out at a time, I assume. She encourages everyone to create their own rhythm, their own routines based on what makes them happy. And she offers more than 125 serene photographic examples to inspire you. But her assignment for you, come up with a doable joy routine and stick with it for 10 days and see whether the daily habit changes are making you feel better. So I think that's a nice, come up with a joy routine and practice it for 10 days. See how it makes you feel. There you go. Just another thing to add to your plate.
Did we do it? Did we do the 5 minutes?
Oh, we did. Yes. All right. See ya.
Baker's always gives you savings and rewards on top of our lower than low prices. And when you download the Baker's app, you can enjoy over $500 in savings every week with digital coupons. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's easy to save big. Baker's, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply.
We've locked in low prices to help you save big store-wide. Look for the locked in low prices tags and enjoy extra savings throughout the store. Baker's, fresh for everyone.
Discover the heartwarming and hilarious world of sibling connections on Sibling Revelry with Kate Hudson and Oliver Hudson. Dive into family tales, explore the human mind, and laugh with guests like Joel and Benji Madden. It's more than a podcast, it's a celebration of the ties that bind us.
And it's fun because we've decided to open it up to really like all kinds of different siblings. And it's going to be an awesome season.
Listen to Sibling Revelry with Kate Hudson and Oliver Hudson on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.